Hi, my name is Julie Bear, and I'm a horticulturist at PHS Meadowbrook Farm. And I'm here today to tell you about how you can construct a terrarium at home. This is Jezebel. And so there's a lot of different versions of this. This is the way I do a terrarium. And once you get used to how you can construct a terrarium, you can customize it whatever way you want. And that's the fun thing about it. They're very versatile. You only really need a few things to make a terrarium. First would be some kind of a container, a vessel, and you can use glass or plastic or anything. You can get creative, and as long as it's clear and cleaned out. And then you want a layer of drainage at the bottom, and I use horticultural charcoal. You could also use gravel or rocks. And then you'll want some kind of a substrate for the plant to grow into. I'm going to be using this orchid moss, sphagnum moss. And this is just kind of like a lighter mix instead of potting soil. And you can mix this with perlite to make it even lighter. But I'm going to be potting up this rabbit foot fern, and it really doesn't need like a heavy potting soil. So that's why I'm going to just use that moistened moss. When you plant your terrarium, you really want to just try to take up a third of the container with the substrate and then leave the other 2/3 for the plant to grow into. So you don't want to make your soil level all the way up here and then your plant is sticking out the top. So I have this small layer of charcoal at the bottom here. And then we're going to add in some of this pre-moistened sphagnum moss, which you can get pretty much any like hardware store or garden center. We're going to just put a nice layer of that in, and I kind of have a divot here in the middle. And I've taken my plant out and broken up the roots here, and I am going to just put it right in the middle. And this is a pretty big, sorry, that's my dog. And this is a big plant. This rabbit foot fern gets pretty big, so that's why I've chosen this big container for it to grow into. And then you just kind of backfill the moss around the container. And then if you need to, you can water it even more. And I have all these different spray bottles that I use for this. So I also have, these are cool. A tattoo wash bottle. You can get these online, and this is nice for watering terrariums. They're easy to manage as opposed to a watering can where your water might get out of control. So then I would cover this, and I cover the terrarium just so that once you get the moisture level right, it's super easy to take care of and you don't have to be fussing with it. So I will put a lid on this, and I have these glass lids. This is actually from a clock. So you can get creative and see what you can use for your lids. And I'll watch it for the first week or two and see if there's a lot of condensation building up. And if there is, I'll crack the lid a little bit, let some water evaporate. Or if the plant looks, if the soil is starting to look dry, I'll add more water. And then once you get the water level right, you're good to go. And I grow my terrariums under these LED lights, but you can grow them in an east or west facing window or north facing window. A southern exposure, if you have that, you can grow them in there too, but just be mindful that you're not putting it too close to the window where it's getting really strong, sunny, bright light on it, because that can burn your plant.